Facebook shares trading down a second day. Accusations, recriminations, and losses are mounting up. This is the top of A1 in the Wall Street Journal this morning. Facebook, what happened with this IPO? Morning, everyone. This is the Markets Hub. I'm Paul Vigna. To help us answer these questions, joined today by Aaron Luchetti. Aaron, how you doing?
Doing well,
So look, Facebook shares are down. They were down, I think 30.98 was the low before we came in here.
Right.
What happened with this IPO that this has gone so wrong so fast?
Yeah, I mean, it's a second day of heavy selling. You know, you had things that that were foreboding before the deal, and then you had things pop up on Friday, namely the NASDAQ problems that made things a lot worse than anyone anticipated. You put them all together, and you have a very ugly situation where the stock is down now around 32 bucks. They took it public at 38. That's a big black eye for any investment bank and any company that's looking to create goodwill with investors coming out of the gate.
Right, and it's actually, I mean, there are really two separate stories here. There's Facebook. And we're actually going to have Jack Howe on later to talk about it. You can see it's down about 5% now, caught up a little bit. But the other interesting story is NASDAQ. Their handling of the IPO, their handling of the orders, how angry people are about this. People couldn't find out if they had actually had orders or didn't have them. I mean, what is going on there? And it's interesting because NASDAQ had their shareholder meeting today. And the 25-minute shareholder meeting didn't last as long as a 30-minute delay opening Facebook shares on a Friday.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, NASDAQ's really at the epicenter of this, and not to overstate their role, but their launching of the company successfully on the market is similar to a takeoff of a plane. I mean, it's hard to get it right if you don't get the takeoff right. So you're seeing this continued turbulence, this continued problems in the share trading because people on the first day were very disappointed. They were very confused. They were very angry. They put in orders and didn't know whether they own the shares or not. And then they watched the shares fall, and only after the fact did they find out, oh yeah, you do own them, and you already have a $3 loss or a $4 loss. So a lot of these people like to trade rapidly, are traders, are institutions, and were very, very disappointed. And the firms themselves that traded the stock didn't know if they were short or long, didn't know what their positions were. So everyone who was trading the stock is still very upset with NASDAQ, and it's had lasting reverberations as people kind of back away from the shares because they just want to, take a time out for a few days and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the stock has lost at least $11 billion in market cap already. That was through yesterday's trading. Add on today, and you'll see probably even more. How much of a black eye is this for NASDAQ? How much of a black eye is this for Facebook? Where does NASDAQ go from? I mean, they'll obviously survive this. This isn't it's not a hanging event here. But where do they go from this?
Well, there's two separate issues. For NASDAQ, they do IPOs week in, week out, and they've got to get this right. This was a high-profile IPO. It did not work out well. Investors are going to lose confidence, and NASDAQ needs to fix the IPO process before people have confidence again. Now, whether that means putting some reins on the high-frequency trading around the IPO, people are sort of putting in orders and canceling orders and putting in orders and canceling them faster than anyone could even blink. That takes a lot of bandwidth for the systems, and the systems, frankly, don't have it. NASDAQ may need to look at getting that process right. That's one thing. The Facebook story, they're going to have to recover from this. They're going to have to perform. They're going to have to put up good numbers. They're going to have to regain investors' confidence. And a lot of things happen outside of NASDAQ, which hurt the deal. Revising their S1 a couple of weeks before the actual deal, saying, oh, mobile strategy is kind of changing. Here's some new thoughts. That's very tricky to do right before an IPO. You kind of want to have the story and stick to it the last week or two. So there were earnings revisions. There were also increased insider selling in the week or two before the deal. So all the smart money says, oh, we're going to sell X, and then a week before the deal they say, well, make that 50% more or 100% more. I mean, I don't have the number handy, but a significant amount more. That's a big issue. So investors had real reasons to be concerned and to kind of take a wait and see attitude. And when the stock had chaos and problems in the trading on Friday, they took an even more wait and see attitude.
Are they chortling downtown at the NYSE at NASDAQ's problems?
I can only imagine what's happening at the NYSE. I think the right answer is, look, they have always been the kind of champions for market stability. Take your time, get it right.
Have we may not be on the floor.
We may not be the fastest. We may not be the cheapest. But there's merit to that. And every time the markets go kablooey and they blow up and things don't make sense, it adds some ammunition to their argument.